Hello, people. It's supposed to get snowier in hell today in Nebraska, so it's just slightly snowing now, but they're predicting up to a foot of snow by tonight. Good thing I went to the store recently. Interesting life, isn't it? Interesting times. I'm just gonna riff because that's what I do. So last night I like to watch documentaries, and geography, archaeology, and music are some of my prime interests. Sociology is of interest to me too, but so that's a subject that can be so. Anyway, I watched a YouTube documentary last night. It was called Childhood 2.0, and I made it through almost the whole thing, and it just made me think to myself, I really am old. I'm not out of touch, but don't live in the world the way that young people do. Thank goodness. I mean, that was just an overview, but a lot of what it said about what's going on with childhood regarding media, technology, the breakdown of what I see, the breakdown of real and proper communication. Man, I'm glad I'm not a kid these days. And I don't know what I want to say. I just wanted to say that it's like, I guess I'm feeling thankful. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so music, and it really is the comforter as well as the window of the world that I like to look at the world through. Music is the one that I appreciate the most. And everyone has different windows. Some people are mechanics and see the world through that. Others are, you know what I'm trying to say. We're all unique individuals. So glad that the sharing of the Ralph Towner record. I've got several of his albums. I don't have them all, but I've got a bunch of records with Ralph Towner on them. For a minute, I thought I'd try to dig them all out and show them. And then it's like, no, that's a lot of work. He's played on over 300 albums. I probably have at least 100 albums with Ralph Towner's playing. He is that good. So yesterday I picked away at a couple of little things that I'm doing. Okay, so there's really not much to say there. I just kind of picked away at them. More to come. What did I play? That's what you want to know. Well, the music that really caught my fancy yesterday out of the blue was Raintree Crow. And I've been here already. I love David Sylvian and the band Japan. And I've had this album forever, but for some reason, his song and the term "a pocket full of change" kept coming up in my head. And that's the name of a song on here, on the album. And I have this as a 12-inch single. Not the same record. So I ended up getting into this whole album and just what was going on with it. The spaciousness, absolutely nothing to do with rock music on it, nothing at all. I also have the Japanese version of it, deluxe. This is some wonderful music, so I thought I'd share this with you because it really resonated yesterday. I like knowing that I turn people onto music. I do look at the comments I get on old videos, and you see, there it is. That's where it catches my head, and it looks like a fez to me, which is, I'm seeing myself as I'm talking to you, so that disconcerts me, so that's why I move it. But a couple of comments recently, older ones, it's like, I wonder why they left the comment. Except to somehow be snarky or somehow think it to themselves that they think they're more intelligent, which I don't care about. One was regarding the Stones. I mean, the person really said, the best thing you've shown is the Stones, so tell me the best Stones album. You know, another person lamented that they thought that Can sounded juvenile. Well, why are you telling me? It's obvious that I don't care that you think that. That's not my experience. You telling me isn't going to change my experience. Thank you. New Order Movement. To this day, this album sounds new. Just they really were onto something. And this is my copy from 1981. I went ahead. Sometimes I'll do this for fun. I'll do the nerdy collector thing and look at the minutia. You know, the dead wax to see which version do I have. And this is A3. This is 1981. This is one of the first batches to go out to the world. I've got an original. It's in great shape, as you see. Love the album. My old band Digital Sex, which I was just tripping on because I archive our stuff. And, you know, this is a live CD of ours from a place called the Magic Theater. I posted this and it generated a very interesting conversation on Facebook that's still going now. But this came up. New Order. We used to play New Order. I guess that's the connection. Here's a jazz album that's came out. I know it. When I looked it up, is when I realized this is the same album as the one I've seen with the illustration with the brain. This is Heiner Stadler, jazz pianist, Brains on Fire. Interestingly, this came out the same year as it released on the small independent label as well as this Musical Heritage Society label. This is a fantastic jazz album. Jimmy Owens, Joe Farrell, Garnett Brown, Barry Phillips, Joe Chambers, Tyrone Washington, Reggie Workman, Lenny White. Okay? When you can command that kind of personnel, something's going on, and it's there. That's very good. It swings, and it also has some free stuff on it. Section 25, Ragged Glory. Girls Don't Count. It's like this was a band where it's like they didn't even try to act like they could really play, and somehow they made this wonderful sound. To this day, this is the sort of lo-fi, punky, we can't play, but we just want to make a sound that works. Not all of it does. I love it when it resonates with me. Here's another Section 25 that I haven't played, but I pulled it. Is it From the Hip? Yeah. Completely different from that one. This is where they have found electronics, and this kicks ass. This is a very good album. From the Hip by Section 25. And this music and collecting is saving my mind and my soul with this ongoing COVID madness, as well as being in the middle of winter. This is saving me. This is saving my sanity, people. Curved Air, Air Cut, the album they made when Annie Jobson was only 16. Made this album before he joined Roxy Music. Really like this album. It jams. Great album. The whole album just really, really good. The Flock, Chicago band. Posted this, and then I heard from Tim Jones from a Cheer Accident that the bass player from this band's son was for a time in Cheer Accident. Love finding out those things. My older brother turned me onto this album in 1969. It was my first time I heard Jerry Goodman before Mahavishnu Orchestra happened. This has a big blues element, which I did not like, but I liked Clown and Store-Bought, Store Thought. I love those songs. They're really edgy. A horn band, like Blood, Sweat, Tears in Chicago, but edgier. A couple more. A recent addition to the collection via laser CD. This was just reissued. Swiss band, Crocodile, An Invisible World Revealed. This is a stone classic that you've probably never heard of, psychedelic hippie rock. Been wanting this album for a long time. I got a story about this band. They were probably the first real rock band to come out of Switzerland. This is really good. It's just got everything I like about it, including things that I'm not that drawn to, which is there's a blues element on here with the harmonica, but the way that it's being used is it fits for my aesthetic. It's just hard to describe, but it's not bluesy. It's more rural, country, celebratory. This album is killer. A little story. When I toured Europe with Sun Ambulance, 2009 going into 2010, inner booklet, really cool. They put this out on their own label, it looks like. I played in Switzerland. Played a couple of shows. This is the drummer, Dude Durst. Played at this club in Switzerland, and after we had set up and we had ordered some food because they served food, and I was just kind of wandering around the club because there was all kinds of paraphernalia on the walls, and I noticed Crocodile band posters, flyers from shows and stuff. And our sound man for the show that night for Sun Ambulance was the sound man, the local Swiss guy. And I'd struck up a conversation with him and mentioned to him that and who Crocodile was. And he was real impressed with that, which I love. I do. I love that. Always have, still do. So we got to blabbing about music, and he talked about knowing the guys, and then he said, "Hey, Dude Durst's daughter, she's a waitress here. She's working tonight." I said, "Wow, that's way cool. I'd love to meet her." And so when we came in to do the show that night, on our first break, the sound man brought up Dude Durst's daughter and introduced us, and I just had my picture taken with her. I just told her, just tell your dad that, somebody heard their music across. I mean, a lot of people did, I think, but love little stuff like that. I have always enjoyed those moments where people are surprised at what I know about music. It's fun because it's like they're not expecting it from a black guy, and much less a black guy from Omaha, Nebraska. It's another reason why this is important to me and why I take a lot of pride in it is because I'm in Omaha and I'm not rich. I was not able to just go and buy these records when I had the money. I've never had money like that. It's always been a struggle, and a lot of records have been bought used. Some have been given to me, and so it's a collection of it's a labor of love. It's what it means a lot. It does. I couldn't just go out and buy it because I didn't have the money, and many times I had to suffer. Because I bought the record, something else had to wait. Last thing I'll show: Pauline Oliveros, Stuart Dempster, David Gamper. Yeah. Deep Listening, Octagonal Polyphony. Exactly what it says. This is a sound field as much as it is music. They're using musical instruments, but they're creating this shimmering, undulating, wavering sound field that is glorious. The things that you can get from this music that you cannot get from pop music. Okay? Y'all take care.